These lessons could change your future. Just one small click. Subscribe and grow with us.
The Slight Edge, Turning Simple Disciplines into Massive Success by Jeff Olson. The big so what? The Slight Edge is a philosophy, a new way of thinking to help us make simple daily choices and take small actions that create the compound effect to deliver the lives we desire. If you are prepared to start with just one simple daily discipline and consistently apply the 7 Slight Edge principles, you can turn around any aspect of your life in just a few years. Introduction. We already have all the information about success that we need. The book is about applying that information in our daily lives. The book starts with a few relatable stories to illustrate the principles of the slight edge at work all around us. The slight edge is about knowing that the small things we do, even when people are not watching, add up to create massive positive or negative outcomes in our lives. It is about consistently making the right choices every day. Our philosophies shape our attitudes, actions, and results, which in turn shape our lives. The slight edge is a philosophy. It represents a way of thinking, what we know, how we hold that knowledge, and what we do. The secret ingredient is straightforward: to do the small things over and over again until success kicks in. Most of these small things are extremely easy to do, such as choosing between a salad or a packet of French fries, saving a penny or spending a penny. Yet, compounded over time, they can produce massive results. In short, consistently repeated daily actions plus time equals unconquerable results. A penny doubled every day will grow to over $10 million in just 1 month. If you improved in an area by just 1% a day, you would have improved by 365% in 1 year. With each passing minute and each new choice that we make, the slight edge is at work, either for us or against us. Once you embrace this philosophy, you will know that if you do something long enough, you will get the results you want. But if you make the small errors of judgment long enough, you will suffer the consequences. Learn to put time on your side with the slight edge. Now, you may ask, if it's so simple, why doesn't everyone do it? They don't do it for 3 simple reasons. First, things that are easy to do are just as easy not to do. Precisely because they are small decisions and actions, it won't kill us immediately if we don't do them today. A simple positive action, for example, exercising 30 minutes a day, repeated over time, adds up. A simple negative action, for example, eating a packet of potato chips, repeated over time, also adds up, but they are easy not to do. Second, people want shortcuts that don't work. Everything goes through the plant, cultivate, harvest cycle. This requires the seeds to be planted and time for them to grow. For the slight edge to work, you can't start with nothing. You have to at least start with a penny, a seed. That is, you have to do something. Then you have to keep doing it until you succeed. However, many people either expect something from nothing or they want to go directly from plant to harvest. Third, the results are not immediately visible. The small activities are undramatic and seemingly insignificant. You don't get immediate results or feedback, and no one notices you making the small choices daily. By the time they notice your results, the work has already been done. As a society, we tend to worship breakthroughs and quantum leaps. This can be dangerous because there is actually no magic bullet that will propel us to success. Focusing on quantum leaps can prevent us from doing the small actions required to deliver big results. Now that we understand the slight edge philosophy, let's look at the 7 slight edge principles to be applied to our lives. 1. Show up, even when others drop out. 2. Be consistent. Showing up consistently provides structure and action in small doses that are easier to handle. 3. Have a good attitude. Bring energy and vitality, not criticism and negativity. Surround yourself with positive people and stay away from the naysayers. Having said that, we will still have our funky moments when we don't feel good. Embrace this as part and parcel of life that everyone goes through. 4. Be committed for a long period of time. Commit to principles 1 through 3 above and give yourself time to build your attitudes and beliefs, knowing that the results will eventually come. 5. Have faith and a burning desire. 6. Be willing to pay the price. 7. Practice integrity. That is, do the little things even when no one is watching, and do the things you said you were going to do, long after the mood to do them has left you. Which of the 2 life paths are you on? It has been scientifically established that space is curved. There are no such things as straight lines. Everything, including your life, is curved. Your daily choices determine which curve you are on. If you are making the right choices every day, your life curve is on the upper half, which only 5% of people are on. If you are making simple errors in judgment daily, you are on the lower curve, where the majority of people are. Those on the upper curve demonstrate responsibility. They accept that they alone are the cause of where they are. They do not find excuses, nor do they attach any judgment of right or wrong to the situation. They focus on the future and use the past merely as tools to pull themselves forward. On the other hand, those on the lower curve demonstrate blame. They blame themselves, others, and the external environment for their circumstances. They tend to focus on the past with regret, remorse, or retributions. Do check out the graphic from the book which summarizes this concept of the 2 life paths. If we take an honest look at what we are doing daily in different aspects of our lives, our health, personal development, relationships, finances, and life itself, we will know if we are on the upward or downward curve. The good news is, the past doesn't equate the future. The slight edge is constantly at work. Once you make a firm decision to step onto the upper curve and consistently apply the 7 slight edge principles, you can turn any area of your life around in a few years. In fact, genuine success in any area of your life tends to spread to other areas. Mastering your life. Mastery is a state of mind, not an end goal or destination. Babies learning to walk never think of quitting, nor do they tell themselves, "I'm not cut out for it," after a few failed attempts. We were all babies once. We just need to remember that childlike willingness to keep trying and get back on the path of mastery. When we want something, we both desire and lack it. A natural tension is created between point A, where we are, and point B, where we could be. That gap will somehow be resolved. The question is whether we resolve it by moving point B closer to point A. That is, we compromise or give up on our dreams, or we move point A closer to point B. That is, we overcome our problems. The bigger a person's life, the bigger the problems that he or she faces. When we have a strong vision or desire, we feel uncomfortable. We also make others around us uncomfortable because we remind them of their own gaps. This is why we should be cautious who we share our goals with, as those without the right philosophies and attitudes will pull us down out of self-defense. Olson shares that at a typical funeral, only 10 people cry, why live our lives worrying about what others thought when only a handful of people will even care or remember us when we are gone? People who are remembered by the masses are those who dared to do what they believed in, regardless of what others thought. Harnessing the power of the slight edge. Once you adopt the slight edge philosophy, you'll be harnessing 5 sources of power. 1. The power of momentum. Activity is important. Once you are in motion, you are harnessing the power of momentum to keep going. Once you stop, it is harder to get started again. Allow yourself to move at your optimal rate, from slow to fast. 2. The power of completion. Each time we complete something, for example, fulfill a promise to take the kids somewhere, we lighten our load of the past and improve our forward mobility. If we ignore our list of incompletions, the fear or inertia that kept us from completing the task in the first place will compound with time. 3. The power of habit. When we repeat something long enough, it becomes automatic and we do it without thinking. The slight edge is about taking the right simple actions over and over again so they form positive habits that serve you. 4. The power of reflection. Being busy does not necessarily mean being productive. Reflect daily on what you are doing, so improvement becomes second nature. 5. The power of celebration. Catch yourself doing something right and celebrate each successful right choice. It's important to remember that results come last. Our results are a function of what we have done in the past. Focusing on results means focusing on the past. To focus on the future, we need to look at controlling our thoughts, which determine our attitudes and actions, which are in turn determined by our philosophy. In short, we must start with the right philosophy to life. It's equally important to learn continuously. Invest in your personal development, as learning is a key element to the slight edge philosophy. You can earn by studying, by doing, and through modeling. Find people who have achieved what you want to achieve. Surround yourselves with them and emulate their success. The learning process involves developing an awareness of yourself and what is contributing versus hindering your process. It requires a balance between being book smart and street smart, and it inherently involves a constant process of course correction and plan, do, review. Goals are critical for turning your dreams into reality, and here are 4 foundational steps to goal setting. 1. Write it down. Envision it. Make it specific with all your senses and give it a deadline. 2. Start with a plan. Know that the plan is only our jump-off point. There is no such thing as a perfect plan. The plan that we start with will not be the same plan that brings us success. However, we need to start with our first plan in order to take our first steps. Start the learning journey and refine our course. 3. Understand and pay the price. There will be a price to pay for success. For example, giving up the right to be right, or giving up a few hours of television. In the long run, the price of doing what you should will always be smaller than the price of not doing it. 4. Look at it every day. Are you ready to start living the slight edge? Let's put everything together with this exercise. Olson takes us through 5 key areas of our lives, including health, personal development, relationships, finances, and life in general. For each of these areas, list down the following. 1. My dreams for this area. Be specific, vivid, with a deadline. 2. The price to pay. 3. My plan to start. And 4. My one simple daily discipline. Once you've completed this exercise, you'll have your actionable plan to start living the slight edge right now. Other details to look out for in the book. The most powerful part of the slight edge is the simplicity and practicality of the philosophy. Olson summarizes many big ideas we may already know and shows how to apply them in simple, daily steps. The book is sobering yet uplifting at the same time because it presents so clearly how we can shape our lives. There's no longer any excuse not to. Olson shares many relatable stories and examples to help us understand the concepts in the book, including his own story, how he went from a beach bum to owning the 5th largest solar air energy company in America, to losing everything and rebuilding from scratch again. Throughout the book, there are also numerous notes from people who shared how they have applied the slight edge in their lives. If you like the ideas and tips from this summary, do grab a copy of the book for more details.
You're watching, learning, feeling. Will you stay with us? Just one click to subscribe means everything.
If your journey feels stuck, you're not alone. We've got you. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps more curious minds discover this content. Subscribe to Being and Beyond and join a growing community that thrives on knowledge, perspective, and personal growth. And if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Your support fuels our passion and pushes us to create better content. Welcome to Being and Beyond.